My name is Kelsey. Oh, okay. My name is Kelsey Erickson Stroifert. I'm the Chief Public Affairs Officer for the Texas Restaurant Association. And we are really excited to bring you this webinar with some of our industry experts to talk about how to boost your holiday revenue. So before we jump in, a few housekeeping items for everyone. If you have questions, please submit them in the chat or Q&A feature. I'll be monitoring that along with Alexandra from my team, who's helping us in the background run tech. Thank you, Alexandra. So yeah, we want this to be an engaging conversation. So please submit your questions. If you have ideas and things that have worked well for your restaurant, please feel free to share those. This is really about learning from each other and brainstorming and getting ahead of the holiday season so that everyone can have a really successful holiday season. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my fabulous panelists to introduce themselves and to make it a little festive, since we're talking about the holidays today. Tell us who you are, where you work, a little bit about yourself, and then share your favorite holiday meal with everyone so we can get to know each other a little better. So Rachel, why don't you kick us off?
Hi guys, I'm Rachel Austin. My company is Hometown Social. I am a PR and marketing agency based in Houston, Texas, but I have clients all over the state of Texas, as well as in a few more southern states. We do web design, graphic design, public relations, digital advertising, kind of the full gambit. We also consult on, point of sale, restaurant operations, things of that nature. I started the company in 2013 and we just hit over 100 clients, which was a really amazing milestone for me and my team. We're very excited and just thrilled to be able to work with so many amazing Texas restaurants. So let's see, my favorite holiday food is just old school. I love pumpkin pie. Yeah, so I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks, Rachel. All right, Carla, we'll kick it over to you next.
I know, that gets me hungry now. Hi, everyone. My name is Carla Losak. I work at Square. I work directly on our restaurant product team, doing product marketing. I've been at Square for about 7 years, so 7 years in December, working with a lot of different sellers and particularly working with a lot of restaurants. So to get up and running, thinking about point of sale at Square, we have payments, point of sale, hardware, as well as other technology services like payroll, gift cards, loyalty, marketing, and team management, as well as online ordering solutions as well. So it really is like a one-stop shop for your business, and excited to be here as well. My favorite holiday food, this is a tough one, but I'm going to go with stuffing. I love stuffing. I can get rid of the turkey and only do some stuffing and gravy.
Love that. My husband and I did Thanksgiving by ourselves last year because of COVID, and he made like a giant thing of stuffing, even though it was just the two of us. And then we had like a chicken breast. So the stuffing was helpful. All right, Ellis, bring us home.
All right, I'm Ellis Winstanley. I'm from Austin, Texas, with Arroyo, and I've been in and around the restaurant business for the last 25 years in restaurant tech, restaurants, and branded products, leveraging restaurant brands. And I guess my favorite holiday food would be, it'd be tacos with holiday ingredients in them. So it's like every other day, but with holiday ingredients in the tacos, and also cornbread.
Oh, all right. Well, again, my name's Kelsey. I work at the TRA. I guess I have to do my favorite food, my favorite holiday food too. I think I'm going to go old school and say broccoli rice casserole. My relatives from Arkansas kind of brought me up on that. And it is surprisingly delicious, probably because of the amounts of cream and cheese that go into it. All right, so again, y'all who are watching, thank you for joining us, and please submit questions and comments. We'll be monitoring that as we go. So I'll just kick us off here. Ellis, we'll start with you since you did your intro last. El Arroyo is obviously world renowned for your merchandise in particular. It's funny, just about 30 minutes before this webinar started, my husband informed me that he just ordered an El Arroyo Yeti ornament and something else that escapes me. So we're adding to our personal El Arroyo collection as we speak. So give us some insights on, the merch world and how you can really leverage merchandise and branding, especially during the holiday season for things like gifts.
Sure. So I think with any kind of merch or branded product, I think if you can find the thing in your business that really connects with people and produce a product that demonstrates that message, then I think that always is an easy gift item for people who really like it, particularly at holidays where people are struggling to find creative, fun stuff. So we try to look for things they're going to be super fun and super connective with both our brand and with something that put a smile on people's face. And it's different for every brand, right? For El Arroyo, it's margaritas and tacos, and the branded products there. And we've got over 600 SKUs now, but that started with a single book. And we were certain that we were going to lose money on that first book, but we focused on making a good quality product that we were okay losing money on because it was going to connect with people and drive brand affinity. And so I think that's the way to really the way to consider any of those programs when they start. It was really part of ad spend, but also a way to really connect with people. And I think holiday is the perfect time to do it because everybody's looking for something different and fun and unusual. So.
Can I add something in?
Please.
Firstly, I just love all of your merch. I think y'all are brilliant. And one thing that I would like to compliment you on is what a great job you guys have done of identifying yourself as almost a personality. So it's like you can kind of envision a person that looks like what your branding is, And so I think you guys have just done such a fantastic job. And I was once part of the family. I worked at the Far West location in college.
Oh, awesome.
So, yeah. Yeah. So
you've contributed to a few signs over the years.
Yeah, I waited tables over there and I just love everything that you guys put out. So I think, if you're going to look to create a merchandise program for your restaurant individually, whoever's listening, I would say to just make it uniquely you. So sit down and make a list of all of the things that make you special and make your brand unique, and then develop your personality based off that thing that people can kind of connect with, that human thing, which is what El Arroyo's done beautifully.
Authenticity. I think that's kind of a key theme here, right? And then what about Ellis specifically for the holidays? Are y'all thinking about new products? Are you thinking about new ways to market those products? Like what are some kind of tips and tricks to really leverage merchandise during the holiday season when we know people are out there buying more than normal?
Sure. So we run Christmas ornaments. We started that last year, and we really style a lot of it around our messaging. But again, the products we really focus. We had a glass ornament with like a glitter paint on it and stuff that you say, well, do I really want to spend the money on doing that? And I'd say there's never really a corner to cut from where your brand position is when it comes to branded products. And that's, so I think, and around the holidays, I think there's lots of different, so I would think about another restaurant we had at one point was Hill's Cafe, and Hill's he's known for yellow gravy and chicken fried steaks. And there's all kinds of fun stuff you can do with that, even if it's like getting a little a chicken fried steak shaped bag with a yellow gravy poured on it or something. There's like umpteen number of products you can make if that's your product. You're just really sitting down and thinking, how would people use this product in their day-to-day life, and what products can we use that they will actually use? Because the most expensive branded product you can buy is the one that goes in the trash can.
Good point. Carla, let's talk a little bit about gift cards, another very popular holiday gift item. Square obviously does a lot of gift card business. Give us some of your insights on kind of what operators should be thinking about to really drive and leverage their gift card business?
Yeah, definitely. I personally love gift cards to restaurants. I think that to me, that also forces you to get out and go to a restaurant and treat yourself to a nice meal. So I think a gift card is always a good option. What's nice about Square is that we offer like digital gift cards as well as physical gift cards. So it's not limited to just dining in. It could also apply to if you wanted to do a takeout order as well. Something at Square that we're really trying to push forward is thinking about offering optionality for your customer. So if you offer online gift cards as well as in store, they're all digital. And then you can kind of decide how you want to use that gift card. You are tired on a Tuesday night, you go and you place an order ahead. You could use that gift card, or you can go in and dine in and you can redeem that gift card there. So I think just having optionality for your customers is really great. We have good templates too. So I think it's important to also feel like there's some sort of connection. So when you're talking about branding, you can brand your own gift cards. So whether that's an image, a logo that you can put on the physical card or even the e-gift card. So really making sure that your customers feel like it's a part of your restaurant.
Awesome. And then in terms of kind of promotions with gift cards, I know, especially around the holiday season, we see promotions like buy a $50 gift card and get an extra $10 or $15 card, or we were talking about discounts for loyal customers. Talk us through some of those options that restaurants can really kind of get creative and take their gift cards to the next level.
Yeah, and I think it's outside of even gift cards too, right? It's really thinking about diner engagement. How can you engage with your diners? How can you make sure that you are getting customers that maybe you wouldn't necessarily have gotten before? So you're doing true marketing and you're getting them in. So net new customers, Facebook, Instagram, even doing like if someone places an order, they can do like a QR code or throw in a discount into the bag. Square, we have customer profiles where you can attach, so you can look at a customer group, right? I want to see all of my customers that came in the last 6 months. They ordered this taco and I want to promote my new holiday taco, right? So you're promoting the holiday taco. And you can say for my loyal customers, I'm actually going to give a free margarita. So you can have a really cool promotion, and that discount could apply just for your loyal customers. So you're kind of giving back to your loyal customers. And there's some creative ways that you can do that. Tapping into gift cards as well as like you're promoting your gift cards. So there's things you could do with discounts. You could do loyalty programs. You can do gift cards as well. You can promote your gift cards. I've had restaurants actually look at their top loyal customers and at the end of the year say, we'd like to actually thank you for your business. It's been a really tough year. We appreciate your support. Here's a gift card. And the restaurant will issue out a $50 gift card or maybe a $10 gift card, depending on the type of business. And that's a way to thank their customers. So I think there's just a lot of optionality, and you can think of creative ways to incorporate diner engagement. And like I said, like loyalty programs, discounts, and then gift cards as well.
Awesome. Rachel, you work with a ton of restaurants. What are some cool products, promotions, holiday themed things you've seen out there in the world?
Yeah, absolutely. So always there is a great push for gift cards. Great gift cards make great gifts. I would say the things that people don't think of until, the 9th hour is the fact that if gift cards are available on your website, you will sell a lot more gift cards. So start the process now. Get your gift cards up on your website, make it clickable, make it printable, do what you need to do to make sure that you have that functionality in place before Black Friday. That should be your end date. Actually, make it the Friday before, because technology is always unpredictable. And, you just, if you already have that functionality, awesome. But if you don't, get to work on it now. I would say that consistency and repetition is very important in marketing. And so if you post it once on your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and you don't all of a sudden sell $100,000 in gift cards, don't freak out. Just keep posting about it. I would not use the same images over and over when you post about it. I would use food images. You know, people buy with their eyes. And so I would say, you know, all of this brought to you by a $50 gift card from the original Ninfas or what have you. You know, so find fun, creative, thoughtful ways to continue pushing out that messaging. You know, in marketing, they talk about the rule of 7. And so I try to make it a goal to repeat a message that is important as this no less than 7 times per month on my social media platforms that we manage, my team manages rather. So email marketing and text marketing are also really fantastic ways to push out your messaging. Carla, I am embarrassed, I don't know this, but does Square have a platform for text marketing and email marketing?
Yep. So
okay. Can you tell us a little bit about the program?
Absolutely. So with our marketing tools, so within the customer profiles, you can see your customers, what their previous orders were. So you can see, like, I want to market to a subset of customers. Going back to the original example that I said, right, I want to see everyone that ordered tacos. So you can send a marketing campaign to everyone that came and ordered tacos. And it's a great, like, templated format. And it's super easy to use. What's nice about Square is that actually during the holidays or any seasonal, around the seasons, you will have templates that are pre-created for you. And then you can go in and customize fonts. You can upload your own images, and you can decide, like, what type of marketing campaign it's going to be. Is this going to be a newsletter? Is this going to be an update? Is this going to be a birthday email? Maybe you want to do recurring promotions for your birthday. So all of that is email or text message. And what's great is that you also can track the true ROI. So not just a click rate, but like who actually came in and what were the attributable sales back to your business by that campaign. So when you're talking about different iterations, you can see, well, maybe this marketing campaign worked, this one didn't. People really liked this. They really liked it last year. We're going to run it again. So there's some really cool things you can do on the back end. And it's just a great out of the box solution. You don't need to be tech savvy. Everything is kind of laid out for you, and it's really easy to go in and create a campaign.
Yeah. So I would say, you know, staying on top of your campaigns beginning the week before Black Friday, I would just start to put a bug in everyone's ear. And you also have to keep in mind that this isn't somebody, you know, standing on the street holding a sign, you know, to market your business. These are people that have already expressed interest in your brand. So they've already been in your restaurant. They already know how amazing you are. And so you're just really engaging these people. It's less like a cold call, you know, it's somebody that has already verified that you are an important business that they like to visit. So I would say take advantage of all of your email marketing that you can, all of the text marketing that you can. If your brand is a little bit younger and hipper, I would say text marketing is a stronger direction for you. But I would just be sure to get the messaging out about holiday gift cards. One more thing that I wanted to mention is send a note to local press in your area. If you have a publicist, have them send a note. If you don't have a publicist, just email the writers that you know, that you have their email addresses, and just let them know what your business is doing over the holidays, because there are a ton of holiday roundups and gift ideas and articles that incorporate things of that nature. And a lot of times when people want to get a last minute gift, those are the articles they go to. So especially as the holiday season draws closer and closer, I think that you know, is going to be a helpful outlet. So that's text marketing, email marketing, PR, and then, gosh, I had one more thing.
Well, let me jump in there, Rachel, and we'll come back to you. But the gift guides is a great idea. And actually TRA produces one every year too. Alexandra on our team, who's helping us in the background, pulls all that together. So just want to echo Rachel's suggestion there, and we'll be collecting all of our members' ideas and promotions and gifts as well. So be on the lookout for that. Ellis, want to swing back over to you. What marketing campaigns and strategies have worked well for y'all, other than having a world famous sign with 1 million social media followers?
Yeah, that took several years to build, but I think about, so there's the group, the audience you already have, your existing customers, and how to market to them. And then there's how to expand the audience beyond that. And I think one thing that always sells well is fun, right? So as I'm sitting here listening to some of this, I just decided that for Halloween, I think I'm going to give away margaritas in my driveway to the adults that come by as with a little QR code on the back to the website, and they've got to buy a gift card. But I thought also even little stuff, like if you want to expand the audience, say it's got a 5-mile radius around, you could even do something as silly as like hiding I'm going to keep using margaritas, tacos in case it was a theme, right? Because that's my world I live in. But essentially you could put a little small gift card, value just for those things, or something in like Easter eggs, and go throw them around neighborhoods and then tell the people on next door in those neighborhoods that you hid Easter eggs full of margaritas in their neighborhood. And they just need to go find them. I mean, it's gonna be very fun, and they're probably gonna end up buying, at least exposing you to the brand. They may buy gift cards, but I think like it's how do you expand the audience? How can you introduce fun and different stuff that's gonna make people feel like your brand is something they want to connect other people to during gift season, which is really what they're. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I'll add to that too. I mean, think about new audiences, right? I mean, think about all the gifts that we all buy for our kids' teachers or, our coworkers, right? That's always the worst, when you have to buy a gift for someone you really don't know, and you want to get them something they like. You don't want to spend a ton of money, right? I mean, think about, everyone loves restaurants. So, just think about those new audiences that you could maybe tap into that you haven't yet, because to Ellis's point, if you can get them to come and buy one margarita, they're probably going to buy some tacos, some queso, multiple margaritas along with that, and potentially be a returning customer. So I think the holidays are a great time to really think about those new audiences that you haven't connected with yet.
Yeah, and we've also done programs for staff where they could participate. So if they could get somebody interested in doing a private event, they could potentially get to work the event if they weren't already on the banquet team, which we tend to have a banquet staff segmented from the regular stuff. It's just we've built it where there's enough of them to do that. But it's exciting for them to get to work those banquets. They're more profitable than a normal service shift. And the same thing can be done with gift cards. Essentially, they could have some kind of commission on selling those. They're actually really talking to every table about it, suggesting it as a sales item. It's a baked-in sales force to help move those things.
Great idea. Rachel, you had a thought too.
Yeah, I was just going to say something similar to what Ellis was saying about creating incentive for your staff. So making it a contest, like whoever sells the most gift cards this shift gets, a $20 gift card or a $50 gift card, depending on where your restaurant's PPA is. But, offering, or like, it doesn't even have to be monetary. It can be like, you don't have to roll silverware. You get to pick your shifts next weekend, what have you. So there are lots of ways to incentivize your team, but I would say making it a team effort is really important too.
Awesome. Carla, anything to add on that?
Yeah, I mean, from a tracking perspective, definitely from, sales reports, and, you can do some interesting things there. We always hear from restaurants, like, how can I do staff promotions? That is something that people really want to track. It creates a fun culture. And I think that a lot of restaurant owners really want to make sure that they are making it fun and really great to work. So we can definitely help out with a lot of those things.
Yeah, I think that's such a great point, Carla, especially with the labor shortage that we know you're all facing. Building that camaraderie and that team spirit and making it a fun place to work, I think goes a long way towards employee retention, which is something that we're all striving for. Let's talk about another kind of holiday opportunity, which is, the sort of pre-orders, the takeaway meals, the meal packages, right? I think the pandemic really exploded the opportunities to think about how do we take that dining experience and give our customers that option at home, right? And with the holidays, those possibilities are really endless, because maybe I'm hosting a family dinner for 10 and remembered how much I hate cooking a family dinner for 10. And so can I leverage my local restaurant for things like that? So Ellis, jump in there. What are y'all doing? What have you seen in that space that's really exciting and innovative?
So we've done more for a promotion, so for the actual holidays, we close actually just for our staff normally for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and sometimes a couple days after, depending on the store. But what we've seen work really well for group is family packs. So we did family packs last year from Arroyo for a giveaway for something, and we had essentially a whole beer butt roasted chicken, grilled onion, grilled jalapenos, rice, beans, sauces, and something like that was super easy. It was able to go in a one catering full pan and easy to walk out with. I would just say execution matters when you start selling stuff like that, because if you sell a whole lot of them, then you get in a pickle pretty quick if you haven't thought through how you're going to execute those efficiently.
That's
I would not recommend beer butting the chicken, by the way, in hindsight. We started doing a different process halfway through. So.
Gotcha. You learn as you go, right?
Can I add one thing?
Yeah.
Because just remember your supply chain shortages as well. Don't start taking turkey orders and not be able to get the turkeys you need. So I would just consider all things when you're planning your holiday packages this year. I mean, Ellis, you would probably be able to speak to that a little bit more than I would, but the actual supply chain issues. But I've heard that we're going to have turkey problems this year.
Well, you just don't know until it seems like the supply chain's all over the place. So
yeah, Carla, did you have some?
Yeah, I was just gonna talk a little bit about even like pre-orders. Pre-orders were a big thing for us, and also meal kits. What's the upside of offering something like that is that you can prepare and what your food costs are going to be ahead of time. So that's where you can really manage all of your ingredients. However, you don't want to over accept orders and over promise. So I think that there is like a clear line of like understanding like how much can you handle, but it does help with even readjusting labor. So if your food costs, your labor costs, exactly what you need for the day of preparation, it is helpful to see it ahead of time. So that's something that we definitely worked with a lot of restaurants on last year, and we'll continue to work with going into this holiday season.
Yeah, Ellis, any thoughts on how you manage, supply chain, not just shortages, but things becoming unavailable? I know this is a brave new world we're all operating in, but any thoughts on how you manage that from the outset?
I would pick the least niche products that can be, like chicken, for example, you can get it 50 different ways, and wholes, halves, randoms, breast, whatever, something you can be flexible enough with what you're offering to make sure you don't end up in a pickle on it.
Yeah, and maybe not marketing it too specifically, right? Where, you've promised a very specific item, maybe building in some flexibility there where people know, okay, we're going to get, one of these meats and X number of sides, right? But so you have some flexibility there.
And just make sure to put on all of your communication this year that, while supplies last.
Yes, great point.
Over promising and under delivering.
Great point. Alexandra added to the chat, the supply chain issue is also a great way to encourage customers to buy gifts from your restaurant they can pick up locally. I completely agree. I've been pushing this campaign idea around about, with all the global supply chain shortages, instead of making this a season of stuff, right? Let's make it a season of local experiences and leaning in to support our local restaurants. Because I don't know about y'all, but I feel like we have enough stuff as it is, so we don't need to wait for things to, you know, arrive from China if we can go out and support our local restaurants instead. Any ideas or thoughts on how? Yes, Carla, I was about to go to you on that. How we promote, you know, eating, buying, dining locally. Carla, you start with your Give and Get Local campaign.
Yeah, this is a Square campaign. I really love this. We launched this, I want to say last summer, and it was actually to help promote gift cards. So it was helping to buy gift cards to support restaurants that maybe weren't open, and it was a new revenue for them. So this was a really great offering where you can go and you can put in your zip code and you can see all of the Square sellers that are nearby you. You can purchase gift cards online as well as even do online ordering and delivery. So that's a good way. And also just make sure that you are promoting that as well as your restaurant. So if you are on a site like this, or if you're working with local vendors, promote on social, promote on other associations, tell that you're local, and, you know, share what you guys can offer. But there are some really good tools out there.
Rachel, is there any kind of local messaging that you found resonates with folks? You're on mute. As you gather your thoughts.
Sorry about that. You know, I was just going to say it's really different. Every brand has a different voice and every brand has a different audience. Mm-hmm. And so I would just encourage you again to be authentic, make sure that, you know, you're not being too salesy. I think we've really gotten away in marketing. And again, you know, one of the reasons why I love, you know, everything that Ellis does is because it's so much fun. Mm-hmm. And so I would say choosing language in your marketing that encourages, you know, a feeling of, you know, inclusivity and like light and funny and humanity and things that other people can relate with. You know, I would just say it depends based on your brand. But if you are listening right now and you get in a pinch and you need some help, you can always email me. I'm happy to give you, you know, my 2 cents.
Thank you, Rachel. Okay, let's talk about something Ellis alluded to earlier, which is sort of catering events. Obviously, there are a lot of parties around the holidays, which is yet another revenue generating opportunity. Ellis, curious to get your thoughts on how you leverage catering, especially around the holidays. And also, you know, there's the virtual event, the rise of the virtual event as well. That's kind of a new opportunity. Maybe we'll see less of that this year since COVID numbers are down, but just yet another kind of idea to think about.
Yeah, but I think with events there, depending on the way you're building a setup and the volume of them you can attract, I think you're potentially getting room fees, other fees to help offset some of the expenses. The margins tend to be higher on the food and beverage, so it's a good business. I'll say like anything else, if you're just getting into it, it takes a while to build. And there's infrastructure and stuff out there you can buy to help manage the PEOs and other stuff around it once you get the volume. But initially, there's honestly a lot of good forms and stuff just on the internet for banquet contracts. If you just Google it, find something to start from.
Awesome.
Can I add something in?
Yes, please.
I found in marketing events during the holidays, offering kind of an early booking perk is a really helpful thing to do. So say if you lock in your holiday party for X amount of people or more by this date, you know, maybe like November 15th, we'll throw in like a free past hors d'oeuvres and bubbly happy hour before.
Love that.
And you can extend your event by 45 minutes, which gives people kind of like a cocktail reception to walk into. So, I mean, the perk is going to change depending on your business model, but I would say booking early incentives have increased a lot of my restaurants' holiday bookings by like 50%.
That's awesome. That's a great tip. Another challenge we know everyone's dealing with is labor shortages. Well, before we do that, Joy just asked if you could, she missed what you said, Rachel, I think about holiday bookings. And can you just summarize that real fast again for Joy here?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just saying, if you are able to offer a incentive for early booking. So say if you book your party by this date for this amount of people, maybe throw on an extra incentive. So one of the incentives that we did was a bubbly and past hors d'oeuvres happy hour with one of my clients. And so basically it extends their event by like 45 minutes, and then they have a little cocktail reception to walk into. And so depending on your business model, you know, past hors d'oeuvres and, you know, champagne isn't something that everybody offers, but there's always incentive, you know. If you know, book early by this date, we'll even gift cards are a great incentive. You know, we'll give you $100 gift card if you book you know, party for X amount of dollars or more. So I would also think about who you're talking to. So if it's for a family, maybe the incentive is a little different than an office.
Yeah, and I would just like to chime in there. So we have like an invoicing tool. And what's nice is that if you are doing bookings, it's good to also automate some of that stuff, right? You're going to get the customer to give their credit card information, their payment as quickly as possible, which is great when you're using something like an automated invoicing tool. It's also a lot better than taking the credit card information over the phone or waiting for a check. So with the invoicing tool, you can also get a deposit. So you can get a deposit and then do like a partial payment. So you know that you received partial payment on that entire event or that booking, which is great to get ahead of time. And you can also put in discounts as well. So even if you're not using Square for your restaurant, you can also just use us for invoicing. So it is a great solution.
Carla, that segued so perfectly to my next topic, thank you, which is dealing with the labor shortage, right? We're talking about all of these great ideas, but many of them do require at least some, you know, employees. And especially when you consider running your on-premise and regular to-go operation, in addition to some of these events and extra things. So Ellis, would love to start with you. You know, what thoughts, ideas do you have for really maximizing your revenue and your opportunities while being mindful of the fact that, you know, many restaurants are operating at reduced labor capacity?
Yeah, I think so. I guess what they say in August, that was a record number of people quitting their jobs, and the hospitality industry is disproportionately affected. You know, I think the easiest way is to not lose the employees in the first place. And so not putting them in scenarios where they fail is critical. So I think some of the choices we've had to make were around banquet staffing. We've actually had to go to limited service or limit the number of dining rooms in some, you know, in one store in particular that's a large store, has multiple dining rooms, but to really limit, even consolidating tables in some cases to make sure that the banquets got executed to the standard that the customer expected, because we had agreed to do that and signed a contract to do it. So I think, like I said, I think people are going to find their place over the next 6 months or so as things start to level out a little bit and all the chaos dust starts to settle. But in the meantime, I think it's just critical people are set up for success.
Then what about leveraging technology? Carla, you talked about Square's invoicing, but I know you have other ideas and suggestions as well on how you can leverage technology to really have an efficient workforce and operation.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of success with the QR code ordering. So it allows you know, servers to touch more tables because they can have the customer place an order. And what's interesting about that is that customers actually do like placing the order with the QR code, because if they wanted to order a drink, or if they wanted to order a second round, they wanted to order an appetizer, maybe they're in a rush and they just want to place the order, it's really convenient for the customer. So they can kind of pick and choose. If I want to place an order now, I'll do a QR code. Really great for even like patios or larger spaces that, again, a lot of servers can't touch those areas as efficiently as they would if there were more servers on the ground. So I think the QR code ordering is really great. Even tableside, so tableside ordering and payments. If you think about the back and forth of going to a table, going back to the server station, inputting in the order, then you pass another table, they want to get a drink. So if you think about all of those back and forth, you do save a lot of time and it is a lot more efficient. And then you can think about getting better turnover with the staff that you do have in place. I would also say from a technology standpoint, that's like good for front of house, but from a back of house standpoint, making sure that like, if you're doing online ordering, you have a really good solution that is integrating all of your types of online orders as well as on-premise offers. Orders is important. So thinking about order managers, KDS screens to help consolidate some of those efforts.
I love the hybrid QSR. QR. God, it's been a day, y'all. I'm like, that's not the right acronym. That's quick service. QR codes. I love the idea of hybrid, having that hybrid model. I know by the time I show up at a restaurant, I'm usually already starving. So like the ability to get a drink and appetizer order in, but then also still have that service experience where you have a server who's coming by and making sure everything's going well. Makes a lot of sense for me, at least on the consumer side. I had another thought that just escaped me. Oh, one thing that I would think would be really important in that space, though, is that you're really communicating with your customer kind of what the options are, right? So they're not just sitting down and feeling kind of abandoned and confused as to what's happening. Getting some nods.
Yeah, I think it is important to say this QR code if you want an order here. We've worked with restaurants where they have almost QR code ordering in one section. So the same way a customer can decide if they want to go and order from a kiosk or they want to go and order at a counter, it's kind of similar for full service. So depending on your business model, you can kind of change, or even maybe you want to do QR codes for ordering during the day, and then you change over to full service at night where you do have servers that are touching every table. So I think that there is flexibility, and it's really up to you guys as a restaurant to decide how you want to use that technology and when you want to use it.
Ellis, you're on mute.
Apologies. I think it's important for the full service stores too to have a clear guidance, like you mentioned, on how what the QR code, whether it's supplemental, whether that's the new program and somebody's just going to be coming by and filling waters or whatever it's obviously not really full service at that point. But I do think as some people have gone back, I don't know if you saw BJ's Brewhouse announced that they were putting menus back on the table in November. Their study produced a 70% per head average increase per person from having paper menus on the table or menus. And so there is still a lot of flux in the market with people, changing back and forth, and it can be confusing. I think clear expectations are critical to people having a good experience.
Absolutely. Rachel, any thoughts on that? And also how you maybe, how you gather input from your customers and how you see, because I worry about with some of this technology, I think sometimes restaurants are a little scared to implement it because they don't necessarily know what feedback and what they're getting from their guests. Any thoughts on how you monitor that, how you adapt to that?
Well, I would say, can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I sounded like a robot that came back to me. I would say that I would just be very careful when you're making decisions about moving away from full service, if that's what your customers expect. But if you're a quick service restaurant, fast casual, big lunch crowd, I think that maybe that would be ideal. So I would just say to consider your customers' expectations before you make a big move like that, because the last thing that you want to do is invite people in who are unfamiliar with your new process and then lose a loyal customer because of it.
Absolutely.
So I would say that. And then I also wanted to mention that QR codes can actually be really cute. I know that they can kind of look ugly, just like the black square, but I embed QR codes and other things. Like for ninfas, I embedded a QR code in a taco. I'll post it in the chat in a minute. But, I would say that you can have a little bit more fun with it. It doesn't have to be a flat, boring design. I would just fold QR codes into your, marketing components for sure. And Ellis, I thought what you said about the increase, was it per customer, 70 cent increase per customer?
I believe that's what the BJ's BJ's report said. Yeah.
That is so fascinating to me. I mean, I missed paper menus personally. So I think that that's really interesting.
It seems very polarizing to me, right? Some people hate the digital menu. They don't want to be on their phone we're all on our phones all the time. So it's sort of like they don't want to also be at their phone at the restaurant. And then I think some people really like it. So to Rachel's point earlier, I think it's really about knowing who your customers are and making sure that you're speaking their language, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you have a younger crowd, I would definitely consider going more web-based. But if you are, I guess I'm 39. I'm too old for all that stuff. I want a paper menu. I want a person. But if you have a younger crowd or a more tech savvy crowd, it may be worth looking into for sure.
So Matt just brought up a great point in the chat about employee retention, and if moving to more of an online ordering QR code system depresses tips, and obviously that then hurts your workforce and your ability to retain employees. Thoughts on that?
I think, and I'm just going to speak for Carla. Carla, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what she was suggesting wasn't that full service restaurants move over to I think what she was suggesting is if it works for your business model, that was a good solution, because that's immediately where my mind went. Whoever just made that comment, I can't see the chat for whatever reason, Matt. I totally agree. That's the first thought I had, but then I thought about some of my other restaurants that are, a little more fast casual that may benefit from that service. So I think probably not, that tool may not work for everybody, but it will definitely benefit some.
I'd also say, just think about, if technology can improve the service, right? So if you're so short on employees that it's creating delays in getting the food out and that kind of thing, that's also going to impact tips, right? So I think it's about leveraging the right tool for the right problem, so to speak, which I know is a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, and I think it's more of incorporating it where need be rather than replacing. So for me, if you're thinking about, a large brewery, right? A brewery, they have large tables, maybe they have an outdoor space, and you have less staff and they can't move around as quickly. That's where like a QR code could really work at a few tables. So I think it's just figuring out if it's the right fit for your restaurant or not. But I do think that it does help, and then the same way as tableside ordering and payments. But making sure that it fits your brand as well. You don't want technology to be invasive. It's really feeling like the customer still having a great experience, and you want the customer to have a great experience, and then incorporate technology to help you guys run.
Ellis,
yeah, I mean, on the technology side, so we use a product called Axial Commerce, which, full disclosure, I built it, and so I'm happy with what it does because I built it to do what I want it to do. But it works with Aloha. We're currently integrating it to Square and our. But really, it's designed to help the employees understand where they rank relative to their peers and help them sell more, which is inadvertently reduce turnover by about, not inadvertently. I mean, glad it did this. We didn't expect it to reduce turnover, but it did cut turnover at about half, just from transparency and people feeling like they knew where they stood and could contribute more. And we actually comped it for 2022 for TRA members. So if anybody wants to try it, just sign up for a free demo and welcome to use it. But it should help. It helps people feel more successful faster, whether it's the servers or the managers. So,
Alexandra, if you could drop that link in the chat, that would be great.
Sure.
I'll also add, just in terms of employee tips, I've noticed, the suggested tip options have definitely increased, and I find a lot of people default right to that higher offering. So I think that's another thing that if you haven't done that yet, I would suggest it. Even on all my takeout and delivery orders, I feel kind of compelled to tip probably more than I, ever did before. So I would definitely take a look at that too. We've got about 8 minutes, so I want to do a last call for questions in the chat. Thank you, Ellis. In the meantime, I do, speaking of technology, want to give a shout out to websites and online ordering that works well. To me, that is such an important driver of business. So I wanted to, Rachel, maybe you have a thought on that, how to really optimize your website and make sure it's easy for folks to order online for pickup or whatever it may be, and having a seamless experience there.
Yeah, well, in my experience, most of my restaurants kind of had to, if they didn't already have online ordering, together before COVID, that's something that they really had to buckle down and work through. During those months that, restaurants were at reduced cap, when we were actually fully closed for a while. I mean, it was just kind of a nightmare. And so, most of my restaurants have already figured out the ease of online ordering, but I would say, just working with your individual point of sale systems and, making sure that your prices have been increased lately. Is a really important thing to do. A lot of people kind of go on months and months and don't increase their prices, or just increase prices on the paper menu and then don't increase the same percentages online. And the thing is, things cost more right now, and reasonable people understand that your prices have to increase as well. And so I would just say to make sure that the prices that you're offering during the holiday season are, modified, approved, and changed on all of your platforms before Black Friday. That's kind of the deadline I'm working with.
I echo that as well. I think that a lot of people are hesitant to up their prices for online ordering, but you have to do what's best for the restaurant, and you need to make sure that you're factoring in all of the costs, right? All of the little additions, the packaging, the food, right? The labor, everything that goes into it. There's some awesome tools that help you figure that out too. So look at those, and that way you can figure out what the best pricing is going to be for online versus in-store pricing.
We've actually gone the other way on that. We keep the same price online, and we just pay the difference. We use Chow Now, which is also a member value partner for TRA, but we kept the price the same, even if we have to pay more, because I think there's more price elasticity now than there has been a long time. And so we decided to blend that in, knowing that now we're going to potentially be getting more customers coming from online as an initial point of contact. And we did not want to cause any confusion in the market as to where we stood in the market. So I know there's a lot of different theories on that. That's an alternative view that we've taken.
All right, we've got 5 minutes left. So I'm going to kick it over to each of our panelists for a last minute, what's your number one piece of advice for restaurants to do right now to make sure they are prepared to boost their holiday revenue? Who wants to go first? I gave you a lot of time to think about it.
I'll say just get a plan in place now. Set a due date for yourself to have your entire holiday strategy together. It can be flux, but I would get your basic plan in place and start promoting it as quickly as possible.
Awesome. Ellis, you're next because you're not muted.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think back to the original point. I think it's find your voice in something, present your product in a way that's going to be fun and interesting. And I think gift cards are a great way to make the monetary connection there again. And I think banquets and private events are a great way to involve the staff and maybe even get them some extra income while getting you some high margin business. And if anybody, I love talking about branded products and stuff. Obviously, I've been around them a long time, even before Arroyo. If anybody wants to visit about that, you're welcome to email me, and I'm happy to visit with you about that, and maybe connect you with some folks that can help you with it.
Thanks, Ellis. That's awesome.
Sure.
Carla, you get the last piece of advice for the day.
Yeah, I would say also just look at your technology solution. Think about what jobs are taking a little bit longer, right? How can you make things a little bit more efficient and make things easier for yourself? I think as operators, you want to make sure that your day-to-day is optimized. So think about those technology solutions, think about easy ways to get gift cards, take the online payments, online orders. So definitely look at your technology solution.
Awesome. Well, that wraps us up for today. Want to thank everyone for watching. We will be publishing this webinar on our YouTube, so you can go back and watch it again. You can share it with your employees and colleagues. And lastly, I just want to thank all of our panelists, Rachel, Carla, Ellis, really great tips and specific advice. And I just really appreciate y'all taking the time and sharing your expertise with our group.
Sure. Thank you guys for having us.
All right. Bye, y'all. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye, everyone.